So Pat had a short stay in a residential aged care facility, and when she returned back home, she received a bill for $8,000. We're talking 8 grand. A lot of people do not have that amount of money in their bank accounts. When Pat had a look at the bill, she could see that there was no information in that bill. She just didn't understand why it was so much money, and it just didn't seem right to Pat. Well, Pat decided to act herself, and she attempted to go to the facility and request information about the debt at hand. And she was met with barriers. Given wrong information, she was given the runaround, was just not given the information that she was looking for. Pat felt defeated. She felt mistreated, disrespected. She felt as though she wasn't getting the information she was looking for, and felt as though she was starting to get the pressure to actually pay this money. And she was close to paying this money. But luckily, she found an Advocacy Tasmania brochure and decided to give us a call. Well, Pat said it was the best thing that she could have done. She knows that Advocacy Tasmania has a reputation for solving issues in the aged care sector, including fees and charges. And as the Financial Advocacy Officer, that's what I do. I deep dive into these issues and try to get a resolution for my clients. Well, first of all, I listened to Pat. She gave me the full story of what happened historically to actually come to this accrual of her debt. She tried to resolve it herself, but no one was listening. Well, with Pat's consent, I was able to collate all the documents, the relevant documents. And when I saw them, I noticed that Pat had not signed one of the major documents. And when I showed her, she said she hadn't even seen it. Like, she hadn't even seen it. Yeah, so I dug deep into the paperwork and I noticed a lot of red flags that she was being charged for full-time fees and charges when she was only there for a short term. I asked Pat if she wished for me to go to the aged care provider to bring up this issue, and she directed me to go for it. Yeah, I was met with the exact same barriers that Pat was experiencing. And I was getting the runaround, I was getting a lot of delayed answers and in some cases misinformation. And when I did eventually speak to the financial officer, they understood, but they were powerless to fix it. So I took some options to Pat, and she wanted me to go to the executive level to push hard. Well, I took it to the executive level and presented them with the facts. It was clear, black and white, and they could no longer ignore it. And in the end, they had to do the right thing by Pat. Well, my work resulted in Pat's debt of $8,000 being reduced to $2,000. Now that's $6,000 in Pat's hip pocket that she's just saved. And just as importantly, she received an apology from the aged care home, which was a fantastic result. Well, relief. Pat had just saved $6,000 that in the end was rightfully hers, and she felt as though her voice was heard. And it didn't cost her a cent, because everything we do at Advocacy Tasmania is free for our clients. Working with Pat was fantastic. She did so well to try to resolve the issue herself, but was just met with those barriers. And when I got involved, we worked together to get the issue resolved ourselves. And as a financial advocate, it doesn't matter to me if it's $10 or $6,000. We'll work hard to fix the problem.